Okay, so Lovey has a project that's very near and dear to his heart. So Lovey, you have 10 minutes to discuss the Standing Witness Symposium.
Very good, thank you. For those, I want to start off with a caveat. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Lovey Spencer, and I'm a member at large of the District 3 Council, particularly to address regional issues to do with the trash collecting, and in this instance to do with a more broad-based issue. But what I wanted to say is that I'm a member of the Mayor's Faith Initiative project, which is an event arm of the gang task force. And I really applaud our city for taking that action, because what it does, it allows the city to take advantage of organized religion. Not adopt or just or embrace the religion, but use the structure in place in order to really implement, to address issues within our community. And so it is that I speak to you tonight about this project, which is very dear to me. It is Standing Witness, and it is a symposium celebrating pioneers of color in the Santa Clara and Bay Area. The issue, this is, can you believe it? It's been 150 years since the American Civil War has ended. It is also 150 years since slavery was abolished, and it was also 150 years of the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And in addressing this and commemorating this particular past, part of our past, the organizers and the sponsors of this group have taken an approach very similar to Desmond Tutu on his Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Desmond Tutu in his book says no reconciliation without forgiveness, says that we cannot move forward in reconciliation by disregarding the past. We have to look at it and we have to see what it is, then we can move beyond towards reconciliation. And that is the focus of this group. I've passed out flyers. Does everybody have a flyer that has one? That's great. So rather than to talk specifically about the symposium, the dates, the times, and the people that are going to present it, I want to tell you my personal story of how I became involved with this group. As you know, that we had made a presentation to this group about human trafficking. Human trafficking is the new slavery. And as we became involved in it, we found that gangs were very much a part of this human trafficking, this $92 billion business. And so therefore, as a member of the Faith Initiative, we began to address the issue of human trafficking. We're very delighted to, I just received a call before I came into the group today that one of our local attorneys, by the name of Professor Lynette Parker, does anyone know Lynette Parker? She has received the FBI Director's Community Leadership Award for her distinguished work in human trafficking, particularly women and children that are being sex-slaved and abused by this organized crime. And she's going to be a part of the roundtable. At the conclusion of the presentation, we will have various groups that will be addressing the issues that were presented. And again, this is people of color. It is Asian community, it is the Hispanic community, it is the Black community. It is those groups that have been victimized by the status quo. And that we once and for all, rather than individually, to collectively look at to address the issue. We are hoping that at the conclusion of the presentation that it's not just the end, it is the beginning of an approach to where various individuals, and we have asked millennials to be a part of this. This is really their generation. They're going to be the recipients of the next 150 years of addressing this problem. So rather than the old folk gathering and looking and seeing what our approach will be to it, we're going to open up the doors for discussion of young people along with the advocates in the community, such as this attorney that has received this award, and some other very distinguished people. Cindy Chavez's office to do with human trafficking is going to be represented there. There are going to be a number of people from our community, in addition to this distinguished group of presenters that will be here. And we're hoping to learn from them. We're hoping to be involved, what is called truth-telling. That's the whole thing. We need to disavow any of the hearsay things that are going on, but really address the issues that exist, so that based on that truth, that we can begin to resolve the issues once and for all. I will stick around to answer any questions on here, but I want to read to you the mission of the final piece, which will be the round table. After all of the presenters have given their presentations on particular aspects of the slavery under a different name that has occurred in our history. And this is rather unique, by the way. These are national issues that will be looked at from the perspective of Silicon Valley. These will be experiences of people since the Emancipation Proclamation to the turn of the 19th century. What has been the experience right here in San Jose? And it'll be rather interesting to see that and what kind of approaches that we have made. In closing, I just want to read to you the mission of the roundtable. It's a truth-telling roundtable discussion led by a majority of millennials and joined by several local advocates to conclude the symposium. And this will be from 4:30 until 5:30, with an invitation for continuing a coalition to build on the heritage and strengthening our common cause, so that these events are not just dropped down in the community, but rise from the community and are seen as markers on the journey towards greater civil rights and human dignity. We're very proud of this. We hope that you encourage the people in your community to attend. It impacts us all. It is something that we need to address once and for all, so that we can proceed with equal justice under a law that our Constitution really applies to everybody and not just a precious few. Thank you. Any questions? I've got a minute or so, and I'll stick around afterwards if anybody has any questions.
I'd like to make a comment. I really appreciate you doing something like that. I've been wanting to get you involved for a long time, and that's good you did something like this. That's really great.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Well, I'd just like to say that if you have some of these for us, we can hand them out at the April 7th and April 11th meetings. As people come in, they can pick one of these.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you get them.
So
Yeah.
is this group going to actually go into the hot spots where prostitution is happening and kind of try to talk to them, engage with them? What is this about?
Well, this is the truth-telling portion of it. And what we hope that will happen from this is the reason why that we're really delighted to have this professor, or this a professor and attorney involved, is that we hope that she can become a catalyst so she can tell us what she's experienced on an actual basis and help us in our communities to address these problems. I know that human trafficking is a real hot button to a number of people, and we've seen it. So we hope that rather than just it being a lot of air about woe is me, this is our terrible problem, to begin to address it through these folks.
Okay.
Wonderful. Anybody else? Lovey, thank you very much. That was very succinct.